I died from overwork in the big city with only 300,000 yuan in the bank, not even enough for a bathroom. When I opened my eyes, I was back in my broke hometown, with a system that pays me 1 yuan for every person living here. I walked through the old streets. It was gray and run down. All I saw were elderly people and children left behind. My dad told me to go back to the city, said I only knew how to draw buildings and couldn't survive here. He didn't know I wasn't just planning to survive, I was planning to rebuild. I walked into the government investment office. The clerk, Zhao Zioan, looked at me like I was lost. Investors didn't come here. Only delivery drivers did. When I told her I wanted to open a clothing factory with a 3 million yuan startup, she gave me the good porcelain cup instead of a paper one. Then came Director Wang. 12 years of hearing empty promises had left him bitter. He didn't see a savior. He saw a kid in sneakers. But I had 3 questions that were about to change his life. Where is the land? What are the incentives? And how fast can we start? Director Wang didn't care about my money. He'd seen investors run away before. But when I mentioned the failed clothing factory and the 300 workers currently protesting at his gate, his hands stopped midair. I told him, I don't want the old debt. I just want the workers. Hire me, and the protests stop today. He broke. He offered me Factory B12, 2,000 square meters of prime industrial space. In Shanghai, I couldn't afford a bathroom for what he was offering. Here, he gave me 3 years of rent-free access just to save his own career. It was the perfect leverage. The heavy blue sliding doors screeched open for the first time in years. Sunlight poured onto dusty epoxy floors and rusted beams. Most people saw a graveyard of dreams. I saw a gold mine. With my system income, I didn't need to start small. I was going to buy the best equipment money could buy. I didn't waste a second. I called my old friend Lu Hao and his wife Jiang Yan. While they were still staring at the empty building in shock, I pulled out my phone and transferred 1 million yuan to the company account right in front of them. I told Jiang Yan, you're the manager now. Buy the best Japanese machines. Don't worry about the cost. Opening a factory was easy, but getting an order was the real challenge. I called an old contact from my architecture days, Su Hongmei. She owns a high-end fashion brand in Shanghai. She didn't think a backwater county factory could handle her Italian wool coats, but I made her a deal. Send me a sample. If I can't beat your best Italian workshop, I'll pay for the materials myself. Every factory needs a soul. For B12, that soul was Master Zhao. I found her in a damp alley, fixing zippers for 8 yuan a pop. When I showed her the design for the Italian cashmere coat, her eyes didn't just light up, they caught fire. I didn't hire a worker, I hired a legend. She gave me a folder, names of 31 workers who were cheated by the last boss. I told her, have them here by 2 p.m. with their IDs. I'm paying 2 months' salary in advance. Master Zhao called me boss for the first time. In this town, trust is earned in cash, not promises. At 2 p.m., they showed up. Nervous, skeptical, ready to be lied to again. But as each worker signed their contract, Jiang Yan hit send on the laptop. The ping of a bank notification was the loudest sound in the room. Some cried, some bowed, but everyone realized one thing. I was for real. The first shipment arrived from Shanghai. Double-faced wool, 1,200 yuan per meter. The workers' hands trembled just touching it. This wasn't cheap mass-market junk. This was a test. If we could sew this, we'd own the luxury market. I told them, the exam paper is here. Don't just pass it, dominate it. For the next 48 hours, the machines didn't stop. I stayed right there with them, sleeping on a pile of fabric scraps. Master Zhao was a drill sergeant, her voice hoarse from directing the flow. We weren't just sewing clothes. We were sewing our future. Every stitch had to be perfect. If a single thread was loose, the whole deal was dead. Master Zhao held up the first finished coat. She didn't say a word. She just ran her thumb along the shoulder seam and looked at me. In that silence, I knew. This wasn't just as good as the Italian workshops. It was better. These workers weren't just skilled. They were desperate to prove they still mattered. I didn't mail it. I drove it back to Shanghai myself. I walked into Su Hongmei's office and laid the code on her marble table. She reached out, her designer-manicured fingers trembling slightly. She expected a failure she could pity. What she found was a masterpiece she couldn't ignore. The contract wasn't for 10 coats. It was for 10,000. As she signed the paper, my phone buzzed in my pocket. Industry rank increased. Daily income multiplier active. I didn't just save the factory. I just became the biggest player in the county. And I was just getting started.